Sometimes, the people who seem to have it all are the loneliest inside. And sometimes, the ones who have lost everything are the richest in heart. This is the story of a single dad named Ethan, a man who worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on for his daughter, and a woman named Claire, born into wealth but starving for real kindness. One unexpected question, "Will you be my date to the party?" would change both their lives forever. Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to your channel name, where we share true-to-heart stories that remind us of the goodness still left in this world. If you believe kindness can change lives, hit that subscribe button, tap like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, sit back and let me tell you a story that will warm your heart. Ethan never imagined his life would turn out this way. Just 5 years ago, he had a wife, a home, and a steady job as a mechanic. Then tragedy struck. His wife, Julia, passed away from a sudden illness, leaving him alone to raise their 5-year-old daughter, Lily. He did his best. Every morning, he packed Lily's little backpack, braided her hair, and reminded her that mommy was watching from heaven. He worked late at night at a diner, wiping tables and fixing cars during the day. He barely slept. But he never complained, because every time Lily smiled, he remembered what love was. Across town, in a world of designer handbags and sparkling chandeliers, lived Claire Harrison. Claire came from money. Her father owned a chain of luxury hotels. She wore elegant dresses, drove a silver Mercedes, and had thousands of followers online. But behind the pictures, Claire felt empty. Her friends only cared about appearances. Her parents were always away. She had everything except genuine human connection. One chilly December evening, fate brought these two worlds together. It was snowing when Ethan got a flat tire on his way to pick up Lily from school. He pulled into a nearby parking lot, exhausted and frustrated. He was running late again. His fingers were numb, and his old jacket did little to keep out the cold. That's when a voice called out, "Hey, do you need some help?" He looked up to see a woman in a long wool coat, holding an umbrella. Her eyes were kind, though she looked completely out of place in that muddy parking lot. Ethan smiled awkwardly. "Thanks, but I've got it. Just a flat tire." She crouched beside him anyway, careful not to ruin her heels. "I don't know much about cars," she said, "but I can at least hold the flashlight." He chuckled. "That's more than enough." They talked while he worked, small talk at first, then laughter. She told him her name was Claire. He mentioned his daughter, and how he was just trying to make it to her school on time. When the tire was fixed, Claire offered him her thermos of coffee. "You look like you could use this more than I can." He hesitated, then took it. "Thank you. That's really kind of you." She smiled, a real smile, one she hadn't worn in a long time. "Kindness doesn't cost much," she said softly. A week later, Ethan was back at the diner where he worked the night shift. He was cleaning up when Claire walked in. She looked surprised to see him behind the counter. "Ethan," she asked. "You work here?" He nodded, a little embarrassed. "Yeah, just part-time. Keeps the bills paid." She smiled, a little nervously. "Actually, I wanted to ask you something strange." He raised an eyebrow. "Okay." She took a deep breath. "My father's company is hosting a big holiday party this weekend. I have to go, but I don't want to go alone. Would you be my date?" The room fell silent. Ethan almost dropped the glass he was holding. He laughed awkwardly. "Claire, you're joking, right?" "I'm just not joking," she interrupted. "You're kind. You're real. I want to spend time with someone who actually listens." Ethan didn't know what to say. No one had looked at him like that in years. But he thought of Lily, and how strange it would look if he showed up in some fancy hotel ballroom beside a woman like Claire. "Claire," he said gently, "thank you. But I don't belong in your world." She looked hurt but didn't push. "Maybe my world needs someone like you," she whispered, before walking out. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He thought about Claire's words. He thought about how she looked at him, not like a charity case, but like a person. And he remembered something Julia once told him. Never turn down kindness because you think you don't deserve it. The next day, when Lily came home from school, Ethan sat her down. "Sweetheart," he said, "how would you feel if Daddy went to a party this weekend?" Lily grinned. "A party? Will there be cake?" He laughed. "I don't know about cake, but I think there'll be lots of fancy food." "Then you have to go, Daddy," she said seriously. "You never go anywhere fun." Her words settled it. Ethan called Claire that evening. "I'll go," he said simply. Her voice lit up like sunshine. "You won't regret it." The hotel ballroom sparkled with lights and laughter. Waiters carried trays of champagne, and an orchestra played soft music in the background. Ethan stood by Claire's side, wearing his one good suit, the same one he'd worn to his wedding years ago. He felt out of place at first, but Claire never left his side. People whispered. Some guests gave judgmental looks. One man even said, "Claire, dear, who's your friend?" in a tone dripping with sarcasm. Claire didn't flinch. She took Ethan's arm and said proudly, "This is Ethan. He's my date." The man blinked, speechless. Ethan was stunned. He'd never had anyone stand up for him like that. And in that moment, something inside him shifted. He realized kindness wasn't about giving money or having status, it was about respect. As the night went on, Claire and Ethan talked for hours about life, dreams, and the pain of losing someone you love. Claire confessed she'd been lonely for years, tired of fake friends and shallow compliments. Ethan listened quietly, his heart aching for her. He told her about Lily, about Julia, about the nights he'd cry in silence so his daughter wouldn't hear. Claire reached for his hand. "You're the strongest man I've ever met," she whispered. At the end of the night, Claire's father approached them. He was a tall, serious man in a sharp tuxedo. "Claire," he said coldly, "we need to talk. In private." Ethan stepped back. He could feel the tension. Her father glanced at him, clearly unimpressed. "You can't keep embarrassing the family with people like him." Claire's eyes filled with tears. "Dad, he's kind. He's decent. You don't even know him." "I don't have to," her father replied. "He's not one of us." That's when Ethan made his decision, the one that shocked everyone. He gently took Claire's hand and said, "Claire, thank you for inviting me. But you don't need me to stand up for what's right. You already have that strength inside you." She shook her head. "Ethan, please." He smiled softly. "You showed me something tonight, that kindness still exists. But this isn't my world. I need to go home to my daughter." And with that, he left. Claire watched him walk away through the glittering crowd, her heart breaking and healing at the same time. For the first time in years, she understood what real kindness looked like, not fancy gifts, not expensive gestures, but quiet courage and selfless love. A few days later, Ethan was back at the diner. He was pouring coffee when a little girl ran through the door holding a pink envelope. "Daddy!" Lily cried. "A lady dropped this off for you." He opened it and found a handwritten note. "Thank you for reminding me what matters most. I've started volunteering at the children's shelter downtown. Lily's welcome anytime. Claire." Ethan smiled. He tucked the letter into his pocket, feeling a warmth that no money could buy. That evening, he took Lily to the park. They laughed, made snow angels, and watched the stars come out. And somewhere across town, Claire did the same, smiling at the sky, grateful for the stranger who had taught her that kindness is the greatest wealth of all. Kindness doesn't always look like grand gestures. Sometimes it's a smile from a stranger. Sometimes it's holding a flashlight for someone in the cold. And sometimes, it's simply walking away with grace when the world doesn't understand you. Ethan and Claire never became a couple, but they both found something far more valuable, a reminder that real love begins with kindness. So wherever you are, remember, a small act of kindness can change a heart, a day, or even a life. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your channel name for more stories that remind us what it means to be human. And remember, be kind, even when no one's watching.